It's Monday. You know what that means. I'm already pressing the wrong buttons. It's going to be a good show. Episode 428, keeping it great. In the wake of All-Star Weekend in Indiana, we talk about it. What needs to change? What did you like? And as I mentioned, what could be adjusted moving forward? Commanders coaching staff coming together pretty nicely. And up 95, the Ravens already making moves as the offseason is underway. One of the greatest women's college players of all time had her jersey retired over the weekend as well. We'll get into that and so much more. And of course, we got those goofies. It's the episode that you've been waiting for all weekend, episode 428. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, that like button, and that bell. Flex Zone episode 428 coming your way right now. Who more expensive than those Donald Trump Air Force Ones? That's going for over $300, folks. It's going to be a fun ride to November. That's all I got to say. It's the Flex Zone podcast. Only place, fellas, giving you sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Episode 428, keeping it great. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the Flex Zone 1, on Instagram at the Flex Zone 1, and of course, on that Facebook page, leave us a like, the Flex Zone 1, and we're on TikTok, the Flex Zone podcast. Episode 428, talking Brittney Griner getting her jersey retired. NBA All-Star Weekend. Commanders and Ravens are in the offseason. What's going on so far with those teams? But make sure you hit that like button, hit that bell, hit that subscribe button, all that good fun stuff that you guys know. And make sure you acknowledge the head of the sports podcast table, the Flex Zone podcast table.
Acknowledge me!
And yes, acknowledge us each and every day. Check out all our videos on the channel, as it is going to be a big week for the podcast. More details coming a little later, as we'll be waking up early to watch some wrestling this weekend. But we'll get to that and so much more. Batting leadoff is the social media producer. It is the Meat Man, and he's even enjoying it into the off season. It's the one, the only. Oh, well, I guess it's just you and I, Raj. Big Raj. What's going on, my guy? How you feeling?
Finish him, Daddy. Finish him, Daddy.
Like
Finish
Karate
him,
here.
Daddy.
No water, just me.
That's a lot of daddies, you know. But you know, it was an interesting weekend. We got to recap this bullshit All-Star game, and I got a lot of words to say for this, man. So prepare, buckle up. I got some things on my mind, and I'm going to express them about this crappy All-Star game.
Let's bring him up. The next man is the voice of reason. He is one of the co-founders of this here, the Flex Zone, along with the brother who just hopped on with the all black. Like, he just came back from All-Star Weekend. I know it was -17 out there, but he's repping Morgan State. He's got to be feeling it good because his Commanders looking like they got some direction for the first time in maybe 20 plus years. It's Cavante, baby.
Those days are over, Byron. No more. We over. Those days are over, baby. But
just for that, brother, you giving it.
Hey, he can't be
Finish
getting
him, Daddy. Finish him, Daddy.
Now he getting everybody's.
A lot of daddies. A lot of daddies.
They ain't win a damn thing yet.
And since it's All-Star break, even during the All-Star break, for you and Rob.
Come on now, say it with me. Everybody beats the Wiz.
They do. They do.
Shut up. Shut up, Dre. coming in like you've been here the whole time. Shut up. I am excited for this coaching staff. One thing that people told me is that Dan Quinn knows how to put together a coaching staff, and my gosh, it looks really star-studded, to say the least. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but I'm ready to get this show started.
Last but not least, he came in making an interest as always. It is the head of the Flex Zone table. It is the Flex Zone Messiah, the pride of the East Side, the savior, misbehaved, the A-lister, Mr. 25-8. He is the one, the only, Drizzy J.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You already know, acknowledge me, because the tribal chief will be acknowledged, and Cody will not finish his story. I got a question though for my good brother Cravante. What's in your cup, man? That's that new Chick-fil-A that mango sun-joy joint.
So no, I have had it, and it is delicious. Okay.
One time for Chick-fil-A, that Jesus chicken.
Chick-fil-A send free stuff, and send free stuff. No. I actually had this is actually my a Wendy's cup, but I had juice. Like the juice that I had, I think I had ginger ale and it's gone. So this is actually the white cran peach. I don't know if y'all had it.
Nah, I've had it.
Delicious. All right, white. First of all, they got a whole white cranberry line. They got the regular white cranberry, white strawberry, white peach.
I've only had the peach. I didn't know they had the strawberry and all that. Okay.
Yo, it's lit, bro. It's lit. But that's what I'm on right now.
Wendy's do be hitting too though. That blueberry pomegranate or the strawberry.
Yes. All their lemonades hit. All the lemonades. It's just that they charge. They be hitting folks over the head with the charge ups. But so I be having to keep it regular sometimes, yo.
Well, speaking of the charge ups this weekend, it was a big moment in Baylor as we had the jersey retirement of one Brittney Griner, as Dre is clapping it up for. And it's been pretty much a year since she's been home.
Wow.
Brittney Griner's jersey was retired. I did want to read a little excerpt from that. That team, I forgot how good they were. They were, 40-0 that she was on, and they won the national championship 12 years after their national championship run. And she's the 7th player to have her jersey retired by Baylor. And they had the whole ceremony and all of that. The 2011 Bears were 40-0. Griner averaged 23 points, 9.5 rebounds, 5.2 blocks, National Player of the Year, and Final Four Most Outstanding Player. And she was only a junior as well. And she was drafted by the Phoenix Mercury. And she's still with the Mercury. She's an 8-time All-Star and has won a WNBA championship as well. Returned this past year after serving 294 days in Russia as a prisoner, negotiated her prisoner swap to bring her home. She then was selected to her 8th All-Star team after missing the entire 2022 season. So Brittney Griner retired by Baylor. Raj, how you feeling about this?
Good for her. I saw a little bit of it on ESPN. She's come a long way, from being in prison in Russia. And that's a good look. It's just a good look for her. Good look for her brand. And hopefully she continues to, do good things in the WNBA. And, I think she'll probably be I'm pretty sure she'll be a Hall of Famer once her career is over with in the Basketball Hall of Fame as well. So it's just a good look, man. I'm happy that she got a college jersey retired, and she'll probably play on maybe a couple more years and then get her WNBA jersey retired.
Drizzy Dre, I know you were excited to break this news. We talked about it in the chat. Shout out to D putting in the video and everything.
I'm a fan of BG, and well deserved. Great that she's won a championship on both the collegiate level, and professional level. Everything that she's been through, and then in order to come back and then have this honor bestowed upon her, great for her. So I'm happy for BG and everything that she's accomplished. well deserved. And I'm surprised that this honestly hasn't happened sooner. She still, I didn't know this until today, that she still has a record for the most blocks amongst men and women in college. So I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, I don't know how you even fathom getting in the paint with somebody the size of Brittney Griner, but I don't even know if that record will even be broken. Well, I don't think we'll ever see another Brittney Griner, but hey, you never know.
Pravante, baby.
Byron, you're so immature.
He was dunking on them fools.
Byron, you're so immature.
Look. At least he's not as bad as D.
Nah, D's terrible. D's absolutely.
D needs his ass.
Oh man, I can see myself
control,
just
bro.
driving in the paint, just thinking I got to lay up, and Brittney Griner just blocking my shot. just see it.
So she was a Hall of Famer before the whole Russia thing. For sure, college basketball Hall of Fame, man. She would be in the professional ranks as well. Well, so they just do
basketball. They just do one.
It's only one basketball Hall of Fame. It's okay,
but they do have a collegiate one, and then they have one for basketball, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it all in mix?
So I know in football they have the professional.
It's all in one. They just
it's just the
it's one for college and one for the WNBA and the NBA. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It's all one.
Just Naismith. It's just Naismith Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
right.
It's just Naismith.
So in football they have professional.
Okay, football is separate. Okay.
Yeah. They do have a Hall of Fame for
Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Yeah,
but basketball is just all one. But regardless, she was going to be a Hall of Famer no matter how you slice it, whether it's 2 years ago, down, whatever, because she is an all-time great. Is like, again, can't stress this enough. Very, very unfortunate. What happened with her, her situation last year and all that goofiness that was going on, but she is an all-time great basketball player. Period. And this was well deserved. At Baylor, Byron, they were 40-0.
40-0.
Wow,
crazy. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And of course, capping it off with a national championship. You cannot beat that at all. And it's well deserved. Well deserved. She's an all-time great on the collegiate level and the professional ranks. Big ups to her.
Definitely. Congrats to Brittney Griner on her jersey being retired. Congrats once again. Well deserved after everything she's been through. Definitely. Big ups to her. And glad she's doing well. Even after basketball, I know she got a career selling a book or something because everybody gonna want to hear that story.
Come on now.
Probably a movie on Tubi or something. But congrats again
to be on Netflix.
Look, at least better than Tubi. She gonna get at least a Netflix or Hulu.
It might get on Netflix. It might get on Netflix.
We shall definitely see. But this past weekend was All-Star Weekend. A lot of conversation, a lot of debate. He's already throwing up his hands. On Friday night, we had this brother here. I did want to show Raj's boy because he did shout him out last night. There you go, Raj. There you go. Your boy. He don't even kind of line up no more. Jalen Rose. Team Jalen Rose won the Rising Stars on Friday night. Saturday night, we had Team Pacers win the Skills Challenge. Dame Lillard goes back-to-back as three-point champion. Steph Curry defeats Sabrina Ionescu from New York Liberty in the three-point, as well as Matt McClung, the white boy, two-time defending slam dunk champion back-to-back. Doesn't know if he's coming back for a third. And on Sunday night, we saw the East score, 211 points, most in All-Star game history, with Cat on the other side with over 50, but Dame Lillard over Tyrese Halliburton winning the MVP. But a lot of talk about no defense, no intensity. Dre, I'm gonna start with you, brother. All-Star Weekend, we talked about if we were excited last week. What do you feel about this weekend? How do you feel about it? What needs to change, and what would your suggestion be?
like the whole weekend. Didn't Steph tie her? Weren't they tied? And they gave it to Steph, wasn't it something like that? The contest. I don't remember.
I'm not even gonna lie. I have not even watched it. I just saw what happened.
Yeah, I'll admit I didn't watch it either. I just
I
heard
WWE rawed it. I
I-
WWE rawed it.
I just heard about that part. Honestly speaking, and I remember listening to a few analysts today. They're right. I know the focus is on NBA All Star Weekend, but and I've said this for years though. The only All Star game that seems to matter is MLB. Um, Probably hockey. Because hockey seems like they try, but as far as the NFL and the NBA, man, these brothers don't even bother to try. I'm like, what's the point of it? The 3-point contest seems to be the best thing the entire weekend, better than the actual All-Star game itself. The dunk contest, we've complained for years that it needs to go away. The only reason I even caught the end of the dunk contest, to be honest, is because I had just came home and that was my TV just happened to be on TNT. It wasn't like I actually turned to TNT to watch this foolishness because I'll admit when dude hopped over Shaq, I was a little impressed. I do admit that, but no, NBA All-Star Weekend just isn't the same. I remember growing up and just seeing people in the dunk contest, and it wasn't really necessarily about like these people and the gimmicks that they do with the dunk contest, but it was about these cats and just seeing who was out there. I mean, I'm old enough to remember that Kobe competing in it, Vince Carter, some real, some names out there. I mean, even Blake Griffin. I mean, you tried, but it's a shame that, like I said last week, that LeBron James has never participated. We only had one big name, and that was Jaylen Brown, who was trying, but he was no match for the winner. And then I didn't even bother to watch the All-Star game because I knew there would be no defense. Nobody's trying. And the Pro Bowl is the same way. It's so bad with the Pro Bowl that they playing flag football out there. So these it just gets to a point where why do you even have this stuff? It was a point in time I really wanted to go to NBA All-Star Weekend because I just heard that this was the lit thing to do. Now it just seems like it's just a waste of time. Like I just rather just be in a new city and just go to a bar and watch it as opposed to actually going because it just doesn't
-17
seem.
wind chill, by the way.
I'm sorry, what you say, Bar?
It was -17 wind chill, by the way, out there in Indiana.
Yeah, I mean Indiana. Maybe if they had it like in another city. Yeah, that's probably what it was out there. But I mean, and it's really a shame that it's something that we used to look forward to, and now it's something that we don't even look forward to. They've tried to change this. I don't know what they can do because they've tried to change it to basically a pickup game, and they did away with that. Now they're back to the East-West format, and Cats still not playing defense. They seem like they don't even want to try. They don't want to be out there. They're only jacking up threes or dunking. It seems like they don't really, or layups, and people move out the way instead of playing. Like it's just no defense. It's just no effort in trying. So to me, I think that we may get to a point where what's the point of having these All-Star games if the All-Stars themselves don't even really care about being out there and seem more pleased with being selected as opposed to playing.
Rod, you want to go next? I know you said you got a lot to say.
Oh boy.
I mean, I don't want to take away from Cravante's point, but I'm gonna concede to Cravante because I might go a little deeper than both you and Cravante.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Come back in it. Because
Oh joy, and by the way, we got Jimmy Uso interfering in Jey Uso's match. So here we go with their Mania match.
Well, I'm about to say, are we surprised? We knew that was going to happen. They had to set it up for WrestleMania.
That's why I'm underwhelmed, Dre. That's why I'm underwhelmed. But go ahead, Cravante.
Look, I'm just trying to go for the cheesesteaks at this point, brother.
Speaking of underwhelmed,
And I got some new places to put you on too, man.
You done?
We're talking about food, brother.
I wasn't involved in it. God dog it.
Wait a minute. You now, wait a minute. Put that camera on me. Don't you start this foolishness because you've been on a road trip with me to get some food. Do not start this foolishness.
I'm talking about the conversation that was just had. That wasn't a conversation. I want to hurry up with what I'm saying so I can hear what I'm talking about. And you talking about food.
My fault. You know how I get, man.
I do.
Fat boy. Wingstop fat boy need a 10-piece, boy.
But
speaking of Wingstop, did you see the Wingstop in New York?
Wingstop?
Like restaurant. There's a restaurant and whatnot. Yeah, I gotta show you guys.
You must be hungry because you keep talking about food.
As we digress.
Still going. Speaking of being underwhelmed, that's what the All-Star weekend has become. Just very, very underwhelming. And I see them trying to change what's going on. I was a fan of the going back to East or West. I'd say take it a step further and let them wear their own jerseys. Let them wear their own team jerseys. I thought that was a cool era in All-Star game history. And as a matter of fact, it was about, I think it's the anniversary of the 01, I believe the 01 All-Star game that was in DC when Kobe and Stephon Marbury went at it at the end. And that final score was 111-110. And these guys had this at halftime pretty much. Now,
take the over, Cavante.
And you take nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. Like, we've never seen nobody score 200. And they almost combined had 400. I think they made about three or 4 points away from having a total 400-point game. And my thing is, I'm cool with offense. I'm cool with offense as long as it's exciting. I want to see dunks. I want to see alley-oops. I want to see three-pointers. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see going to the lane doing layups. Like, stop. Like, we do that all year. This is with a time where we going backdoor. We try and dunk. We try to dunk. We try to make this exciting. We're really trying to put together everything that happened on Saturday into Sunday. And we try to do it all in one game. That's ultimately what I'm looking for. Back in the day, Saturday was the night. Saturday is no longer the night. Friday has been a forgotten night with the celebrity game and all that. It's just not, and I don't know, because like celebrity game, like that's the perfect thing. Like the celebrity game was something I know I look forward to personally, just to see these guys who are actors and do different things in the world and see if they can really hoop. That's found out. Chris Brown could hoop. Quavo could hoop. 2 Chainz could hoop. Snoop Dogg could hoop a little bit. That was fun.
J. Cole.
J. Cole. Yes, J. Cole could hoop.
Quavo?
Yeah. So all those people come together.
Kevin Hart.
That was fun. That was fun. And Saturday comes, and Saturday was supposed to be lit. And Saturday is not lit because the main event is not really the main event anymore. The dunk contest, it still leaves a lot to be desired. The 3-1 contest is always going to be what it is. You can only just put names in there. It just people go get Steph Curry. That's
just give me Steph. Just give me Steph and Dame from half court, 3-point line, corner 3. Because Dame was pulling from half court
for fun, for fun.
Twice, nothing but net.
And it's water. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we like to see. And I think we should probably gear ourselves some more to expand the 3-point shooting, the 3-point contest, because that's the biggest ticket now. Like the dunk contest is kind of falling off. The skills competition is cool because we kind of see big guys that can handle the ball and, dribble and all things like that. That's fun. But it's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. But my suggestion is let's gear towards the 3-point contest and try to build off of that, because that's the biggest pull right now. Now for Sunday, again, I'm cool with offense, but at some point, because back in the day, well, I don't know what it is now. Like, the winners get a bigger share. Like, everybody gets paid a little extra bonus or whatever, but the winners get a little bit extra money, and that meant something to them. But all these guys making all this money is chump change now. It's really chump change, and I don't know. It's like Dre's been saying since the topic started. No defense. It doesn't look like they care. Back in the day, at some point, i.e., really the fourth quarter, that's when things got turned up. But also, the game was at least somewhat close throughout the game. The East was killing the West. They was up by like 25, and when you down by 25, the All-Star game is not really one of them games where you fight to come back. Unlike they did back in 2001 when the East was down, I think 24 points. And I believe they outscored them in the fourth quarter by like 25 and won the game by 1 point. And that's when, Starbury, AI, Vince Carter, and all them was in the East. And Tim Duncan, KG, Kobe, all them, and of course Shaq was in the West. And the East fought to come back. We're not getting that no more. Those times have long past us. The team is down by 25 in the All-Star game. Ain't no coming back. It's because it takes too much. It would take too much. That means you would have to actually play defense. And they were up by 25 going into the fourth quarter. At least the margin shouldn't be no more than 10. You know what I'm saying? So it can be competitive, because the fourth quarter wasn't really watchable. You know what I'm saying? That Cat was patting his stats because he got to 50, and it was between Damon and Halliburton. It wasn't entertaining because they were killing them. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very, very underwhelming. Very, very underwhelming. And I don't know what we could do about it, but my suggestion, let's look into the 3-point contest and try to expand that. And let's bring back everybody's own team jerseys. I think that was a fun new look time in All-Star game history.
All right, Big Rash, floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that loves the NBA All-Star game, love the celebrity game, watch the NBA Saturday night, special point contest. I'm one of those guys that, just really loves it, loves everything about it. And this is like, now we've been saying for years that the All-Star game has been going downhill. It's been not the same since, we've been watching it as kids. Everything's been changed. And I look at it this way, man. It's deeper than just the NBA All-Star game. It's a society thing, man. Music today is garbage. The NFL, their All-Star game is complete and utter trash. They don't even have an All-Star game anymore. Baseball still has an All-Star game. It's not trash. They're competitive, which is cool. I'm glad they still have theirs. But the NBA, man, they just don't give a shit. They don't care. The players do not care anymore. And back in the day, we used to have guys like Jordan. We used to have Kobe. We used to have Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, a young LeBron James. Those guys cared about playing the game of basketball to the highest level every night. And the regular season, we got players that are complaining about having to play 65 games. They don't even want to give it their all during the regular season. And it showed last night in a game where you have the best players come together to play each other, East versus West. You get all the fans to come in, for a weekend to see your favorite player, or players, you know what I'm saying? Do competitions and, play the All-Star game, have celebrities come in, all of that. You have all of that going on. And you don't even come out and perform. Now, granted, the 3-point contest has always been great. Okay, they always give it their all in the 3-point contest. I would never have nothing negative to say about that. They did great. And Sabrina and Steph, I thought that was a great showing as well. But to have Mac McClung win it again, he's not even in the NBA. He's in the G League. That's a goddamn shame, man. It really is. It's fucking sad. I'm not even joking. It is sad. He's not even in the NBA. He's in the G League, and he's winning the dunk contest because guys don't want to step up their game and be in the dunk contest. Where's Andrew Wiggins at? He can dunk very well. Where's Ja Morant? Now, I know Ja is hurt, but he's never been in the damn dunk contest. Where's Anthony Edwards at? He's a great dunker as well. Zion Williamson, where are you at? Where are you guys at, man, to make this a better game and a better competition? Nowhere to be found. Scared. Running. I never seen nothing like that way back in the day. Kobe wanted to be in that. Jordan wanted to be in that. Dominique Wilkins wanted to be in that. Spud Webb wanted to be in that. Vince Carter wanted to be in that. It's ridiculous what it is today. And it's a goddamn shame, man. And now this crappy All-Star game yesterday. What was 211 points, man? People just going up and down the court, letting the 3-point fly, letting open layups and open dunks. It's ridiculous. I wouldn't want to go. I would not take my family members, my future kids to none of this crap. I wouldn't do none of that, man. I'm like, we're not going to no All-Star game because their players do not care. They don't care. They don't give a shit. They don't care. It's just sad, man. It really is sad to be honest with you. And when I watched that, I was just disgusted, man. I really was. Like, the best part wasn't even the game itself. It was watching Charles Barkley and Draymond Green going at it. They was having a better competition than what we saw on the floor. It's ridiculous, man. I mean, just think about it. Just think about it. We used to see greatness back in the day. We used to see the greatness. They used to care. They don't care anymore. They're getting paid too much money. They don't want to play 82 games. They want to get rid of that. These guys are divas. These guys are divas on the floor. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. And I'll be honest with you, I probably might stop watching this product altogether because they just don't give a damn. They don't care. So, I mean, that's my spiel about it, man. I'm really disgusted. This year was a breaking point. I mean, I couldn't believe 211 points in the damn All-Star game. And they just jacking up threes, jacking them up. It's ridiculous, man. It really is. It's sad to what this has become. It never used to be like this. Even with Kobe in his last year, they didn't play this crappy. And then he said that the NBA All-Star game needed to be changed. But they just don't care. They don't give a damn no more. They don't care anymore. I'm done. That's my spill.
Well said, bro.
That deserves it. Go ahead, Dre. What's up?
I was saying, well said, Raj. I mean, even LeBron, he said, he had something to say about the game. They asked him, they asked Dame afterwards, and they were really unsure. They were saying that, maybe giving some suggestions, but like Raj said, it's few people I think in today's game that care, but the overall beats the few that like still care about the fact that this is an all-star game. He's right. It's just today. It's just how today is. Like I said, it's not only in the NBA, but it's also in the Pro Bowl, and these are the two most watched products that we have. Yet you have cats out there who are all stars. Like I said, who care more about being selected to this game as opposed to actually playing in it. It's just they just don't care. And like you said, Raj, I mean, at least in the NFL, they're talking about increasing games, while the NBA is talking about decreasing games. You don't hear that in MLB. They play 162 games. The NFL was at 16 games. At 17 games, will probably be bumped up to an 18th game. But the NBA, they're complaining about 82 games, wanting to reduce the season to 60 games, but yet you're getting paid all this money. So how are you going to get all this money if you're not playing all these 82 games? And your contracts are guaranteed on top of that. So that means even if you get hurt or God forbid, like paralyzed, your money is still guaranteed out there. So no wonder they don't really care about the game like that, because like Pravante was saying, their bags are bigger. So even that little bit that they get, they don't really care about it. And then, I mean, we saw a little bit of care during the play-in tournament. But, I mean, how many people are really going to care about that moving forward? It's just maybe, because it's the inaugural one. But moving forward, you just kind of worry about the NBA product. And then, Raj, I'll even take it a step deeper about the collegiate level, because you see how much they really care with this one and done rule. I think it really starts with AAU and the fact that in college you can go from the NBA, college to the NBA within a year. So you have people who are out there who are undeveloped, and who just really just know that, hey, look, I'm about to go to the league anyway, so why should I care about college? When I get there, my contract is going to be guaranteed. They're not. It's just the lack of it is just the lack of care is just really disturbing out there. So I think everybody made really good points when it comes to this NBA All-Star weekend overall.
I'll tell you what the final word.
Damn, Drake went to the collegiates. Like, damn. So part of the problem is I'm not even gonna say part of the. Well, okay, so yes, this is a problem, but this is the negative side of like the NIL deals. Now, granted, before the NIL deals came about, we had been saying that the All-Star game / weekend has been, on the decline. But with what to look for in the future, because LeBron is not going to be playing forever. Kevin Durant not going to be playing forever. Soon it's going to be all these kids that's in college now getting this NIL money that's going to be the future stars of the NBA. So in the foreseeable future, this isn't going to get better. You know what I'm saying? Like these kids are getting money hand over fist right now, and it's coming fast. It's coming fast, and it's coming fast, and it's coming fast. Faster than they could spend it, they getting it, and they are getting competitive money at the level, compared to when it's not what you will be making as a professional. Matter of fact, depending on who you are, it's not necessarily what you're making at the professional level, but it's competitive. Like it's money. It's enough money to where as though you would consider staying in college. Whereas as though back in the day, it wasn't no. If I could go, if I'm eligible to go, I'm gonna go, because that's where the money is, and there's no money down here. Now that there's money down here, guys are coming in. They're coming in a little bit more entitled. They're coming in with a little bit more leverage because they really don't need that NBA money like the other folks needed that money, So it's kind of like they're kind of losing interest, dare I say, in the game, because the money that they're getting at such a young age, and mentally they're not there. You know what I'm saying? Rod, Byron, Drake, they're not there mentally. They're not, and they're getting millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, and they're not, and they in school, kinda. Like some people go to class, some people don't, but they're in school getting real world money, and they're in school, so they get this money coming so easily. Because at the next level, you got to work harder. Well, you're supposed to work harder because that level is harder. At all the professional levels, there's people bigger, stronger, faster, and all that. So you got to work harder. So what's the incentive to working harder when I could to possibly work harder when I could just stay here and cake for 3 years and not even and the NBA is not my first option anymore. What's my incentive now?
There is none. There is no incentive.
And that's why at the next level, you got people, because see, Dre, players coming to the league and being underdeveloped is nothing new. It's the fact, but the one thing that's different is that they worked. They were underdeveloped, so they had to work harder at the next level because they're underdeveloped. And it's almost like you're behind the 8 ball. But now it's like I got the raw talent. I really don't have to hone in no talent. I ain't got to hone in no craft because I got all this money. I just came in because it's something to do.
I'm gonna just say this, and then we can end it after this. The legends of the game that the old school players, from the 80s, 70s, and 60s and 50s and 90s. I just feel like they put in so much hard work for this league to get to where it's at, especially Magic and Bird and Wilt and Jerry West and Michael and Scotty and all those guys, man. They put in so much work to get to this point. And I feel like these kids are really just blowing it. I feel like these kids are not taking the ball and running with it. I mean, after LeBron and Steph, who's going to run with this? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to the NBA. I really don't know, man. I love this league. This was my first actual, sport that I watched when I was a kid. Before football, even before baseball, I was an NBA guy, man, a Lakers guy. And I just feel like from the rule changes to all the college stuff that's going on to having to be, I think, 19 to getting to the draft and all this NIL money that's being thrown around, like Ravonte was just pointing out. I just feel like the integrity of the game is just going out the window, and I feel like the guys are just abusing everything that's going on. They're not taking to a fact that this is a privilege to play in the NBA. This is you're not just gonna be, hey, I'm in the NBA or I'm in college basketball, I'm just making all this money. No, it's a privilege to do these things, man. It's a privilege. And I just feel like these guys are blowing it. I really do. And yesterday, it just shows you that they're just privileged at this point. They don't care. It is what it is. They're going to get the money they're going to get. They're going to make tens of millions of dollars. And it is what it is.
Well, we'll leave it there. It is what it is as we move along. Let us know your thoughts on the All-Star Weekend, on the Brittney Griner retirement, or anything else down in the comment section below. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that bell, hit that subscribe button. And if you are watching this when we aren't live, I appreciate you watching the playback on YouTube. Got to shout you out. But I wanted to say, let's move to some NFL. The Baltimore Ravens, Roger, were very busy the past 48 hours. Just the other day, on Sunday evening, they did re-sign Nelson Aguilar. So he is back with the Ravens. Pretty much a contract extension is what they're calling it. So he will be with them this year. And with the goofiness of Zay Flowers, there you see Nelson Aguilar signing his extension. We don't know what this receiver room might look like. We really just have Bateman, Aguilar, and hopefully Flowers, but we don't know what, as I said, could happen there as well. Then today, they had a deadline to reach contracts with Kevin Zeitler, Gus Edwards, Rod Kissin, Geno Stone. All will have their contracts voided and will be free agents starting during free agencies. They'll be free agents, and the Ravens will receive comp picks if they sign elsewhere. So, and it looks like Zeitler will not be re-signed as well. Raj, how you feeling, man, with some of these moves that you're hearing about so far?
Well, like I told you before, Byron, during the post-game shows, it is what it is, man. Aguilar was okay last year. I don't mind him re-signing with the Ravens. He is a good third or fourth receiver on the squad, so that's a good thing. I'm pretty sure, there's not that much money. So I'm glad that he was able to come back. Zeitler, that sucks, man, because he was probably one of our best offensive linemen outside of Tyler Linderbaum. So if he doesn't come back, I mean, he still can, but if he doesn't, then that sucks, because that means either Ben Cleveland is going to start at that position, or it's going to be Mr. Voorhees, Andrew Voorhees, who's a rookie last year, but he didn't get to play because he was hurt. Will probably might start in that right guard position. But the Ravens got a lot of work to do, regardless of losing Geno Stone, Gus Edwards, and Rocky Sin. They got a lot. They got a lot of work to do. Most of that work is going to be done in the draft. We already know this. We have, I think, 8 picks, I believe. So we're going to get a lot of people in the draft. Now the biggest question is, are we going to either cut Stanley or restructure his contract? Marlon Humphrey, are we going to cut him or restructure his contract? Or are we going to we could restructure Lamar Jackson's contract? We don't know, but the Ravens Eric DeCosta got his work cut out for him in general. So it just depends on who he wants to move around.
They could cut Morgan Moses, Patrick Ricard, Tyus Bowser as well, Raj.
Yep. We already know Tyus is probably.
So they could have $37.9 million in cap savings. Marlon Humphrey, 7.9. Ronnie Stanley after June 1, $15 million. Tyus Bowser, 5.5. Morgan Moses, 5.5. Patrick Ricard, $4 million.
Right. So the question is this: who do you want to get rid of? I personally would like to get rid of Ronnie Stanley after June 1st. That's just me. If we can get somebody in the draft that can replace him right away, do it. Keep Marlon Humphrey. Structure his contract, though. I'd love to do that. Get rid of Tyus Bowser. You got to get up out of there as well. He's taking up some space and money. But the question is, who are we going to get in free agency? Are we going to get Derrick Henry? Do you want Saquon Barkley? Do you want Josh Jacobs? There's plenty of running backs out there on the market right now, and I'm pretty sure you can get them on a cheap deal. So who do we get? Who do you want to pick up?
Tony Pollard also.
Tony Pollard is another candidate.
Rumor is they're saying Gus Edwards is linked to the Cowboys. That's rumors.
I mean, that's a good move if he goes there, but we already know that Gus Edwards doesn't show up in the playoffs because he doesn't get the ball in the playoffs. So, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Cowboys if he goes there. We already know Dak likes to throw the football 50 times a game, but yeah, man, it's just a lot of things.
He's going to get the ball less than he got it here. He had like 13 touchdowns. He gets tubs. He just don't touch the ball in the playoffs, like you said.
So yeah, so either way, he's in a messed up situation. Regardless, if he comes back or he goes to the Cowboys. But the question is this, man: who do you want to get rid of? Who do you want to pick up? There's a lot of people out there, a lot of cap space for the Ravens, and a lot of moves that need to be made. And also, do we pick up another wide receiver in the draft? Do we, pick up somebody from free agency?
He better.
I mean, we got to get somebody else other than Aguilar, because
I want them to trade back. I want them to trade back and get more picks.
Like you said, we don't know what's going to happen with Zay Flowers. There's a lot of talk that he hasn't been charged. He has not been charged yet. Let me make that clear. He has not been charged. But the police are still investigating. You never know what might happen. They might find some ridiculous
investigation in my life.
Might see you might see a videotape out of left field. You never know what's going to happen. So just be prepared for that, and just enjoy the ride, man. The off season usually is a ride in itself. It was definitely a ride last year because of the Lamar Jackson stuff. But this year, all these 22, 23 free agents, it's going to be a lot of moving parts, and I just want to see what the Ravens do. And also, if Todd Monken will be speaking tomorrow, so I definitely want to hear what he has to say, because he had a lot of explaining to do, in that last game.
Why is he talking now in February? I don't care.
Well, he's going to be on a certain podcast, the Vote. He's going to be on the Vote podcast tomorrow. So
wow.
Yeah, so just stay tuned. Check out Bobby and and Sarah. You know,
they're gonna move. How they get that?
They find ways to get people on. So I'm gonna check that out. I want to see what he got to say, and you know, we'll see what happens from there. But the free agency is right around the corner. My guys in underwear are going to be coming out there, you know, pretty soon, and we're gonna be doing what we do, baby. You know, looking at the dudes in underwear. Oh yeah, just a bunch of meat running around on the field in Indianapolis. This is what we do. But
Finish him, Daddy.
you can go ahead.
I wouldn't mind them trading back. It's a lot of offensive linemen in this draft apparently it's a deep offensive lineman draft, but wide receiver, running back, cornerback, possibly pass rusher for sure, because we don't know what the hell's going on with them. And then outside of Linderbaum, I don't know who you got on special teams. Any thoughts on the Ravens before we get to your Commanders, Quantum?
I think one thing that you guys can lean your hat on, lean your hat on. You guys do well in the draft. It's very rare that you guys come out of the draft and don't feel good about it. Because there are quite a few holes to fill, but this is not surprising. This typically comes after either one or two things happen. Either you won a Super Bowl or your quarterback got paid. That's the nature of the NFL when things like this happens. This happens when you got guys on one year proven deals. You got guys coming up on contracts and you trying to go all in to try to get to the Super Bowl the same year that you made your quarterback the highest paid quarterback. These things happen. So now it's time to, that rookie window of cheap labor is over. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to actually move around some pieces and all that. But the Ravens do that pretty well, especially when it comes to the draft. Free agency, free agency is just like the NBA lottery. It's a crapshoot. The whole thing is a crapshoot. You know what I'm saying? It could go good and go because that's overpay season. That's what free agency is, overpay season. And so draft. That's what you guys should be focusing on, the draft and getting the best. We'll get number one, getting picks. You guys do that very well too, getting picks and getting the best out of those picks. So at least you have that to look forward to. Yes, the roster is looking kind of there's a lot of question marks, but you got the right guys in place that pick these players. So, I think you guys will ultimately be all right.
Well, speaking of all right, there's a new coaching staff coming together in DC, like Thanos assembling the Infinity Gauntlet. Dan Quinn is assembling his coaching staff, and I got the list here. Devontae, we got a lot of names, a lot of notable names on this list.
Yeah.
Of course, we got Dan Quinn. We got guys like Cliff Kingsbury. We have Bobby Ingram, who used to be with the Ravens. We have Anthony Lynn, former Chargers head coach.
I want to zoom that in, Byron. I can't see it.
I'm sorry for the old eyes.
No, everybody, yeah. There you go. There we go.
Okay. Hey, is that better?
Yeah.
Where was I? Got Joe Witt Jr. from the Cowboys with Dan Quinn. A lot of names, Kavante. How you feeling about this list? Anybody that jumps out to you and you said at first you didn't really like the hire? I still don't really think it moves the needle, but the guys around him might help. And if he gets a quarterback, who knows?
Right. I think getting a quarterback is what's important. And since he's a defensive-minded guy, the offensive coaching staff is also very, very, very important.
Ryan Kerrigan, former Redskin.
Indeed.
Ken Norton Jr., John Pagano, son of Chuck Pagano, I believe, former Ravens DC and Indianapolis Colts head coach.
So I think the great thing about Dan Quinn is that he's not just bringing people from his former coaching, from where he's been recently, like what Ron Rivera did. Like we turned into the Washington Panthers because he just brought all his people from a losing situation. Dan Quinn's picking people from all different branches and all different trees and bringing a lot of great football minds together. A lot of former players, a lot of guys who have the pedigree of football. Like I think Anthony Lynn is one of the ones that jumps out at me because he has experience as a head coach. And now he's going to be working with, I think he's working, I don't know if they've given him the job to be the running backs guy, but I think he's the running game coordinator, if I'm not mistaken. And he probably would ultimately be the running backs guy because that's his background. But to have a guy like Anthony Lynn that was running his own show at one point, for him to not even be coordinator anymore, but just be the running backs guy, that's more experience for this coaching staff. Cliff Kingsbury, once upon a time, was running his own show. Probably not that great of a head coach. being honest with you, I don't think he's not that great of a guy to be a head coach. He's a players guy, but there's been he made some questionable decisions when he was with Arizona with holding players accountable. But as being the offensive coordinator, that's not your job anymore. So he can solely focus on what he does well, and that's scheme up a great offense. And also he's willing to change. Joe Witt Jr. I watched his presser. I love, like, if we could give out grades for a presser, he got an A because one, he's willing to adjust. A lot of coaches in the NFL is like my way or the highway, and they end up losing. He is a guy that's willing to adjust. He doesn't have to do. He's not going to we're not going to have the same defense as the Cowboys, and we're not going to have the same defense as the former Seattle Seahawks back in the day. He's going to deal with his players and scheme from there, which I think is a great way to start because the players are the guys that have to play. So you have to make it easy for them to play. If you just throw on this wild, crazy scheme on them and you don't have the personnel for it, then it doesn't matter. But I think Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. are adjust to this team. And also get my man E. Forbes right, because they're trying to say my man a bust. Now, I'm gonna say his coaching. Shout out to Dale Green, the great Hall of Fame cornerback from Washington franchise. He said that was coaching. Like, he said that last year during the year. Like, there's no way he's this bad. There's no way he's this bad. But Ron Rivera, stale. Jack Del Rio, stale. They're trying to get players to fit into their system instead of scheming things that would help this player succeed. We got my man, what's his name? Willie Gay. I'm William Gay. He's assistant defensive back, the defensive back coach. He's a former player. So I like pretty much all of it, all of the coaching staff except one. There's one position that's very, very, very concerning, and I've been saying this for years. I've been concerned for the position for my team the past couple years. Raj Byron, I've always said the offensive line. I am very, very concerned about the offensive line. And who the hell do they pick up? Bobby Johnson. You know where he came from? The New York Giants. Not a fan of that move. I am not a fan of OG Bobby Johnson. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. I love the name. I'm not keen on the person because the New York Giants offensive line has been terrible since they've been picking old linemen. Like, it's crazy how bad they've been, and I am very concerned about that. But hopefully, with this upcoming draft, we're able to pick some guys. Byron, you said it earlier. This class is deep at wide receiver, offensive line, and of course, it's probably gonna be 5 quarterbacks to go in the first round. But wide receiver and O-line, this is the draft to do it. D-line and like edge rusher is not as big. It's a couple gems in there, but it's not as big as previous years. But offensive linemen, you get that center, you get that left tackle, and you get guys, you'll be all right. And hopefully Bobby Johnson was a one-off with the Giants, and it's not as bad as what I'm thinking. But out of all the positions, I was a little off on the Brian Johnson one too. But again, he's taking a step back. He was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts and all of them took a step back. I was a little concerned about that, but he's not the offensive coordinator. He has a lesser role being the offensive game coordinator. And he did look good. He did have Jalen Hurts looking really good the previous year. So I'm gonna hold on to that. But I love it. I think this star-studded cast and a lot of experience and guys who's willing to adjust, because that's what we're gonna be doing. It's gonna be hard. Like this year, it's probably not gonna be great, and that's what we as foot fans of this Washington team it's not gonna be great. It's not gonna be great year one, but we have the potential because we got competency in the front office, which we haven't had, and going on 25 years, but definitely over 20 years. So competency in the front office, get some competency in the coaching staff, then that will trickle down to the players, which is all I've been asking for, guys. It's all I've been asking for my whole life, pretty much. Because I've been watching football since about 2000, 99, 2000. Literally when Daniel Snyder bought the team, that's when I was watching football. So my whole football life, pretty much, all I've been asking for some consistency and consistency, not that consistency of mediocreness. So those things are in line. So I am, so I am ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm excited for this draft. Adam Peters, he came from under John Lynch, so I think it's only up from here. It's only up from here.
Let me take myself off mute. We shall see what happens. We shall see what happens with the Commanders. Mark, big shout out to you. And yes, William Gay, former Steeler, right? I believe.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. Cravante, you ready to get goofy, my brother?
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's bring him out.
Of course. Something wrong here. Of course. Something wrong here.
Well, now that's Goofy. My good brother Goofy is with us again for another week.
Welcome. I keep putting up Goofies of the year. My bad.
You pushing it, Byron. You wanted to, you trying to end the year that just started. I understand. 2024 has been crazy. I understand. Welcome, good people, to Goofies of the Week, sponsored by the Flex Zone. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time to let me tell the good people what I thought was goofy this particular week. Y'all know I did 2 levels of goofiness. I have the low level goofy, which is, we pretty much laugh at it, we kiki, we ha ha, in the hopes that it does not become a higher level of goofiness, which is the highest level of goofiness, that dreaded next level, where the high level of goofiness, we cannot allow this to continue. We have to congregate, we have to talk about it, we have to figure out how do we get here and how do we get out of here. That's Mark. James raised his own year. But we have to talk about why this, whatever person, situation, organization, player, what have you, is at this absurd level of goofiness. So I have a couple to talk about. So I have one. So I have 2, but one is kind of like a somber one that's kind of sad. So I'm gonna go through that one first, and then I'm gonna go through the other one. And both of these are are of the high level variety of goofiness. Unfortunately, Mark, I did not see the dunk contest, but I'm not surprised. A third one for honorable mentions, it would be the All-Star weekend again. But we're gonna go down to Kansas City for this one. For those of y'all that have been under a rock and are not familiar or aware, the Kansas City Chiefs have they just come off their back-to-back Super Bowls, Super Bowl win. Patrick Mahomes getting his third championship, and I believe they have 4. I think they have 4 as a franchise, because I remember when Patrick Mahomes brought them to the Super Bowl, I think it had been 50 years. So I believe they have 4 championships total. So as an organization, they won their 4th championship. Patrick Mahomes won his 3rd, and Kansas City has won back-to-back. So they are officially of dynasty status. So they celebrate just like all teams that win their respective championships. They have a parade, and they celebrate with the city and the fans, and they have a parade where they march and they show off the trophy. The players, high five, taking pictures, doing autographs with the fans. It's a really, really good time, and it's a really good showing. And if you're in a city, if you're in whatever city that is, it's probably a good idea to not drive that day, because they shutting it down. You know what I'm saying? That's how it happens, especially in football. Because especially, we're talking Middle America, we're talking Midwest. They take their football very, very seriously because they don't have anything else. But on a serious note, there was some senseless violence that happened at the parade last Wednesday. I forgot the number. The last time I checked, the number was at like 2022. About 22 people were injured, and unfortunately, one woman lost her life. Prayers for Lisa Lopez. She was a prominent figure in the Kansas City community. I believe she was a DJ as well. She actually was the one person who lost her life due to the goofiness that goes on with the younger generation, and apparently these guns. I want to backtrack a little bit. Raj said something when he was going through his spiel for the All-Star, about the All-Star game, and he went deeper when he said that it's more about the society. That's a fact. Like, we talk about sports and we talk about entertainment, but it's all a reflection of society. The younger kids they're seemingly a little bit more entitled. There's a lack of respect, and a lack of respect for themselves and others. And it's kind of like a do what I want because you can't stop me type of thing. And for those of y'all that live in urban communities and urban cities in the country, there has been an uptake in violence, especially among those, teenagers and very, very, we're talking like young adults, like that 18 to 21, 22-year-old and younger. And it's very, very, very alarming that we as a just as a people can't go out and enjoy ourselves without having to worry of people like this. And I heard that there was they said 2 juveniles, 2 teenagers that were arrested and in custody with all the shooting activity that was going on. And it's really unfortunate. There's no reason why there's no reason why all these people had to be injured and rushed to the hospital. It's good that only one person lost a life, but still, one life lost is too many. Because Lisa Lopez Galvin didn't deserve to lose her life, and their family did not deserve to lose a family member. So definitely prayers going out to the Galvin family and for the senseless violence that's happened and unfortunately the loss of life. This also brings up another thing. I don't know. Unfortunately, this is kind of one of those things where each state governs themselves. The gun violence is another issue that needs to continuously be talked about, and we need to find a better route or a better way to maybe have like a stiffer punishment, harsher laws, because there's no reason that these are young kids. These are not adult. Like, these were two teenagers that caused all this mayhem and ruckus. And it's no way that they should have been able to, one, get their hands on, and two, use in a wild way to disrupt what was supposed to be a celebratory event, and that has been completely ruined. And instead of that day being remembered for the Chiefs celebrating a Super Bowl victory, it will be remembered for senseless violence and someone losing their life over for what ultimately. So yeah, that's something that has to be brought up. That has to be brought up, and I don't know, Congress on the state side, something has to be done, because that was completely uncalled for. Now, this next one. Now, Byron, I told you what this one was about. I don't know if y'all have noticed or if y'all were aware, but Rick Pitino has made news. All right. Now, Rick Pitino has made news for. Usually, when he's in the news, is usually never anything good. For those of y'all that know the background of Rick Pitino, so there's a video. Can are we allowed to play it? Are we not allowed to play it?
I can play a sound. I think I got it pulled up.
Just a little bit. We don't have to play the whole thing.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Make sure I got them. Welcome back, Dre.
Hey, gentlemen.
All right, you guys should be able to hear it. No, I think it was right here.
I think they're unathletic. I don't think they move well laterally. I don't think they're going to pick it up in next week. I think they're slow laterally. I mean, Sean Conway gives you everything he can. He's slow laterally. About 5 guys are slow laterally. Even the Celtics, when we lost, I've enjoyed every minute being the Boston Celtic coach. Didn't like the fact that we lost in that following year, but this has been the most unenjoyable experience I've had since I've been coaching.
Do you have any second thoughts of taking this job?
No, not at all. It's not St. John's. It's my team. I think they're very respectful. They hear, but they don't listen. It's taken me a month to get them to throw bounce passes. Actually, 2 months to throw bounce passes. Just thinking of getting ready for Georgetown, because Georgetown could definitely beat us. I'm not even thinking of the future at all. I'm just thinking of the next game and the next game and the next game, and that's it. Just try to get as many wins as you possibly can and represent St. John's in the best fashion you can.
What are we talking about? What I'm so confused is this is not a fan. You know what I'm saying? This is not a fan commentating. It is not a commentator. This is not a sportscaster. This is a NBA college basketball head coach talking recklessly about his team. Absolutely absurd. This is language that should never come from somebody who's called a teacher, a coach, a parent. Like, these are words that we should never hear when somebody who's of high status talking about somebody or some people who needs guidance. That's not right. That's not right. That's not fair. And in any situation where that comes about, you have to look at yourself. You have to look at the head, the coach, the teacher, or whoever, because they're kids. I mean, we say that they're like adults. Like I just went through a whole spiel about young adults, the 18, 19 going, the ones that's not doing well. These are college kids that are kind of doing well because they made it to college and they need some guidance. And for you to sit here and go for a minute and a half talking about pretty much how trash your team is absolutely absurd. And he needs to be suspended. Absolutely, because how do you look at your players in the face after that? How? Because I know I couldn't. Like, what if any of your coaches, for all of us that's played ball here, I played basketball and I played football growing up, and I played a little bit in high school. There's no way I could listen to anything my head coach would that I could listen to my head coach anymore after him saying what he just said. And that's at any level, high school, college, pros. That's you not getting nothing out of me after that. Because you said how you feel, and you said how you feel in front of everybody. Now, it would have been different. It would have been different if he said that behind closed doors. Because we all know coaches could get a little crazy in the locker room. And they could say some things in the heat of the moment and all that. But he said that in the presser. He said that for all eyes and ears, for all eyes to see and all ears to hear. That's embarrassing. What about these kids' parents? These kids' family members that play on this team, and he out here talking trash, saying they not good. I'm not thinking about this. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm just trying to win a game. But he's saying he got a JV squad. That's what he's saying. He's saying he got a JV squad, but that's wildly embarrassing. Coach Pitino deserves to be suspended for this. And he might want to consider retirement, honestly, because it seems like he's finding it difficult to keep up with all of what's going on. Dre, we was talking about NIL deals before. The NILs have changed the game and the landscape of all college sports. And some guys are finding it difficult to keep up because as a college coach, you're typically the man. You're typically in charge of everything. Nobody moves, nothing happens without your say-so. But with the NIL deals, student athletes are in control of their own destiny, and that's taking power away from these coaches who typically used to being in charge. And honestly, what Nick Saban did, Nick Saban said, "I'm out of here. I can't. I've tried, and it's difficult because not only do you have to recruit more players, you have to continue to recruit the players that's already on your team. Because NIL is a big free agency. That's what it is. You can have a guy, you could recruit a kid to your program 1 year and lose him the very next. It happens all the time. If that money talks, they are going to walk. That's the sad reality of it, and it's difficult for NFL head coaches. College head coaches to adapt to that. And I think that's a big part of what's frustrating Rick Pitino, because he's probably recruiting people just to fill a roster. And unfortunately it's spilling out now in front of everybody. And that's not fair and that's not right. He should be punished for this. And I wouldn't be surprised if the kids that's on the team are not there next year. So yeah, he should absolutely be suspended and consider retirement, because don't nobody want to see you like this. And that's going to hurt him for recruiting moving forward. Don't nobody want to play for nobody like that. That you can call people out in the presser. Now, what you do behind closed doors in the locker room, no cameras, none of that, it is what it is. But you embarrass all these kids and their families, and that's not fair. That's not right. But y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great. And the unfortunate event that happened in Kansas City is one. And Rick Pitino going off on his St. John's team.
Gotcha. Oh, gosh, something wrong here.
Oh, go ahead, Devontae. Finish your spiel.
Oh no, that was it. Just they got to do better. They got to do better.
Man, a few points. I don't
now that's goofy.
I don't think it would have been any different for real. Seriously, had he said it behind closed doors or in person. I think that some stuff you say you just can't go back from. And you're calling for a suspension. He needs to be fired or forced to retire. After that, it's just like you said. You called everybody out on your team in front of national. Well, you knew it was going to be national. He just sounds like a grumpy old man who's honestly frustrated between NIL deals and the transfer portal and where he's at. They're not going to make no real noise. His last spew was when he was with Louisville. And you saw what happened with that. And honestly, that should have been the end of it. I don't know if it's like the lack of between, like I said, the NIL deals and the transfer portal is either lack of opportunity or a chance to get more opportunity. But those two, between the NIL deals and the transfer portal, have opened up opportunities for kids. So if they feel like they're not getting it at one school, they'll go to another school and shine. And we've seen that, like an example with, Caleb Williams, Baker Mayfield, where even if you are shining, hey, if I have an opportunity to ball out somewhere else, then I'm gonna go. Or if my coach is going somewhere now, hey, I'm gonna go with the coach that I know. So I just don't know how moving forward this like you said, the student athletes, they're not going to want to play for him. And at this point, he just sounds like he just is he's over the game, period. Now, some of that could be, entitlement. I'm not going to totally say that the coach is at fault because he did call them out publicly, but it's probably some things that those students are doing to get to that point. It's two sides to every story, and it's just probably at this point, it's just a frustration at this point. But I mean, you're a month away from, well, really a few weeks away from March Madness. Probably an interim
a month away, Dre.
Because you can't coach these kids a month away, and you still got regular games to go to before you even get to the tournament. You still got to get to your conference. So they're not. This is just a divorce at this point. Let the interim coach be in there and find somebody else, because, like you said, it's going to be hard for him to even recruit. He's lost the locker room at this point. Honestly, the locker room probably been lost. And right now, moving forward, you can't gain that locker room back. So they might as well just all part ways and let it be. When I saw that, I just couldn't believe a coach did that. It was to me, it was up there with the NFL spews that we've seen from like Dennis Green or John Mora. John Mora was the other one, because you could just see sometimes, and that's the only thing about sports is like, you want to get the raw emotion, but when you do get the raw emotion, damn, the wrong thing can be said, at times. So you want that cooling period for them, but at the same time, it's like sometimes people say things just out of frustration, and I think that this is one of those things that even though it was said at a frustrated moment, you could see that this is something that's been spewing, and he's built up. And when you get old, you just don't care. Like the older you get, the more and more, like you said, I've never seen a coach do that ever in my life, but you could just see he was fed up and he just didn't care. I don't think he even cares if he's fired or forced to retire at this point in his life. I think he really stands on what he said. He said what he said, and he's standing by it.
He's standing on business, huh?
That's it. That's a drops mic moment.
Jersey Dre, any thoughts on the Ravens' move so far this offseason, real quick?
Over it.
My concern is really on, defensively, I want to keep Clowney. Offensively, I got to see what happens with Zay Flowers, OBJ. Some of these other, moves that have happened, it's been like, okay, but I need to see more. So I'm gonna give it time. You have to give everything time. You got to see what happens with Zay. You got to see what happens with the draft. So, yes, there's been some things that the Ravens have done. The Commanders, they've done some things, with the coaching. But I still need to, overall, it still needs to be time because, we haven't even had combine. We haven't had the draft. It's a lot of things that have gone on in the course of the offseason for the NFL before we can really say what it is. Besides that, the Chiefs should be favored to three-peat. That's the only, I think, guarantee that we have right now.
They are not.
If I had to put money on it today, I would say that they most likely, after what I've seen this season, it's a huge chance that they'll probably three-peat.
Oh, no. I think they do, but I'm just telling you, Vegas said they're not favored.
Oh, no. I know that. Vegas is wild. Vegas is wild for that. How do you just win the Super Bowl and the losing team is favored to win the whole damn thing? I just was like, yo, whoever comes up with this stuff, man, is they're wild or drunk.
All of the above.
Needs to be drugged. Somebody needs to be drug tested.
You know who comes up with it.
Episode 429, Dre. What can the people expect next week, man?
We're going to conclude our Sports and Blackness series, so looking real forward to that, and I think everybody will like our guests.
Any teasers to who it is? Or...
He's black.
That part. But he has an interesting story about meeting an NFL player, so I think you guys will love that.
Okay, Big Raj, big week coming up. But before we get to that, Saturday, 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
Elimination.
When I seen
Dre,
that,
are you joining me?
I was like,
Raj, are you joining me? Devontae, are you joining me? We're gonna wake up early. We're gonna brush our teeth. We're gonna watch some WWE.
No, seriously, are you actually going to
Are you joining me? Are you joining me?
I mean, if you're actually going to do it, I will join you. I will wake up.
I want to do it
and go watch the Elimination Chamber because I guarantee you somebody's going to be watching watching the Elimination Chamber. So I want those views, damn it. So yes, I will join you if you're doing this stream.
You know what? If y'all are serious, I'm in it too.
Dre, come on, man. Come on, baby. Come on.
All right, we need y'all serious. Yeah.
I gotta get up at like 4:45. Just have everything set up on Friday. But we'll have some previews on the channel this week. Yeah, Raj, what else is on social media?
I mean, of course, we got AEW Dynamite Wednesday. Well, that's if you decide to do it. If you don't, that's fine. But we have previews for Elimination Chamber coming up as well. I'm pretty sure some news about the Ravens will be coming up too this week. Like I said, Tom Monken will be speaking tomorrow with Sarah and Bobby Crossett. So I will be catching that interview. And I'm pretty sure some other news will come out as well. So just stay tuned. Keep in touch with the channel. Hit that like, hit the subscribe button, and the bell for notifications because we have a lot and lots of content coming your way. Even though this is the off season of the NFL, the NFL season is really never over. Ever.
Not lying about that. Yes, episode 429 will be concluding our Sports and Blackness series. As Dre said, we'll have a nice guest to close it out. As quick as Black History Month comes, the quicker it goes, it seems. But what can you do about it? Make sure you guys show some love to executive producer, man of 1,000 nicknames, the head of the Flex Zone table, the tribal chief, Andre Mallett. Make sure you acknowledge him. And the co-founder, Cavante, as well. He is one who believes in the tribal chief, and you must acknowledge him as well.
Acknowledge me.
That's right. And of course, our social media producer, last but not least, Big Raj. Throw them ones up. Acknowledge Head of Sports podcast table. It is the Flex On Podcast, fellas. Only place giving you sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Yes, we'll be back throughout the week with more content. Elimination Chamber previews. We will have some Ravens content, I'm sure. Who do you guys want to see the Ravens sign next? Some Orioles content. Full squad workouts here. And whatever else comes in between. We may get some more Ravens moves made to save money or re-sign someone. So we'll talk about it here on the channel. Only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. And if you're up at 5 a.m. on Saturday, join us. We'll be watching WWE Elimination Chamber. Hey, we're going to have a good time. We're going to wake up, might take a couple shots on live. You know, we just might do it all, man. Just start the day the right way. And just, hey, man, enjoy some WWE. But episode 429, we're keeping it divine. Putting the kids to bed. Thank you guys for joining us. For Rod, Trey, Cavante, God's favorites whole signing off. Join us throughout the week. Live for AW on Wednesday, and Elimination Chamber Saturday morning. Have a good night, everybody. Peace. We gone.
Peace.
Peace.